Hello, thank you for joining me. This is Jill Priest at Papercraft Blessings, and we're on Crafty Days of Christmas Day 4. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. Today I've got quite a simple little card to show you. It's very effective. This is it. It's just basically using ribbon, and if you're anything like me, you've got plenty of spare bits of ribbon from various different sources. And yeah, it can make it look quite a simple card look very effective. So was my basic design, which I used the mossy meadow and gold ribbon. So that's this one here, which is lovely, so sparkly, and makes gorgeous Christmas trees. And then I used a scrap of old cherry cobbler ribbon that I had left over from last year to make the little bow on the top. This background piece is a piece again from the Delicate Pines Designer Series paper. Such pretty designs. But yeah, I think it makes quite an effective card. So I'm going to do a slightly stepped up version of this now, using some different papers. So let's have a go. Put that one beside us there. Right, so for this tree, I'm going to use this lovely gold mesh ribbon. Yep, it's just called gold mesh ribbon. A little scrap that I've already made into a wee bow, so we'll use that in a second. Put my ribbon by there. And from the Peace on Earth dies, I've cut out some of these little stars. Oh, and one of these boughs. And I've cut those out in some gold. So, as you can see, it's these little stars here and a gold bough there. So we'll be using those in a bit. Just pop those aside there. Lovely. Now, as with a lot of cards, I've decided to start with the Designer Series paper because this lovely blueberry bushel kind of background, watercolory effect really spoke to me. I think it's such a lovely colour and it looks really rich with gold. This particular paper comes from, I think it's called Winter Meadow. Just see. Yes, Winter Meadow Designer Series paper, and this has got some lovely quite soft and delicate designs in it. This is a Designer Series paper that is left over from last Christmas, but everybody loved it so much that they continued it, and it is still available now. So that's the back, which also is absolutely lush, but as ever, you can only use one side of the paper. So what I've done here is from Blueberry Bushel cardstock, I've cut a standard card base, so that is 21 centimetres by 14.85 centimetres, and I've scored it in the middle at 10.5 centimetres. So we'll just fold that in half. Where's my bone folder gone? There it is. There it is. Let's just burnish that fold. Lovely. So I've also cut a piece of gold card, and that will go on as a layer there. So this piece is 13.35 centimetres by 10 centimetres. There's my glue. So let's just stick that on. Got a bit of a smeary mark on there. Doesn't matter though, because I'm going to hide that in a minute. So here's my blueberry bushel patterned paper. And we'll just put some glue on the back there. Not too much. Okay, get that centred on my gold piece. So we've just got that little glimpse of gold there, which I think looks really lush. Okay, so for the ribbon tree, we need to use some tear and tape. Cut the end off neatly. So you want to run this down the centre of your card. Start about an inch from the top. Doesn't have to be particularly accurate, just make sure it's in the middle. And then all the way down, so you're quite near the bottom. And I would say about a centimetre, centimetre and a half away from the bottom. Just snip that off. There we go. Ooh, got a bit stuck to my finger there. Come on, Gillian. There we go. Right, so that strip of tear and tape, I'm just going to burnish that on so it's well stuck to my card. And peel off the tape. Right, so with my lovely ribbon, I want a piece that is about 60 centimetres. Although as this is slightly wider than 60 centimetres, I probably won't need that much. Where's my big ruler gone? That is a very good question. Yeah, there it is. Right, so 60 centimetres. About there. Should use my ribbon scissors really. I've made a pig's ear of that. I'll leave that for now. Okay. So I'll start with my neatly diagonal end here and pop that right at the top of my piece of tape at a slight angle. And then we fold it across so it's going horizontally and fold maybe a little wider. There we go. Stick it to the tape as you go. Yeah, I want that loop a bit wider. Nice thing about the tear and tape there is that I'm going to change that angle a bit too. so that you can just adjust it a little bit like I'm doing here. That's better. So it's better to get it kind of going in a zigzag angle down across, and every time you get across to the other side, fold it over on itself and go back across. There we go. And as you go, you want to make your loops just a little bit wider, so you end up with a tree shape when you get to the bottom. No, that's not big enough. But, there we go. So I've got a small amount of sticky left down the bottom there. So I just want to make a little trunk by bending that one over, so it's running perpendicular. Not quite straight. There we go. There's my little sharp scissors. Them a second ago. I don't know if you're anything like me when you're crafting, anything you put down just disappears. That's it. So I just want to cut that off straight along the bottom there, so it's and out to the edge. There we go, and we've got a little trunk. So there's our ribbon tree. There's my little bow that's going to go on the top, and to stick that on I'm using glue dots. I find the easiest way is to pop the bow onto the glue dot, press it on nice and firm, and then peel it off so that your bow will then sit nicely at the top of your tree there. Cool. Little spare bit. Okay, now these little stars I'm just going to arrange in the background. Like that. Where's my take your pick? This is where the sticky end of your take your pick tool comes in really useful. And just pick it up like that, and then I can pop a wee drop of glue just in the centre there. Come on. Okay. And place that where I want it without getting everything gluey. Well, that's the plan anyway. Same again here. You only need the merest tiny bit of glue. If you put too much on, when you're using gold, it tends to mark everything when a tiny bit of glue escapes down the side. There we go. And the same again with this one. Quite straight. There we go. Obviously, because this is a dark colour cardstock, difficult to write on, so I have cut myself an internal piece of white to stick in there. This piece measures 9.5 centimetres by 13.85, so just a centimetre smaller than the size of the card. Let's stick that in. So we should have a 5mm border all the way around. Get it nice and straight. But even there. I don't know what happened there. Obviously didn't quite cut it straight. Okay, and I've got a couple of little tiny off-cut bits of the pattern paper to stick down here as decoration, and then I'm going to use my gold bowl just to decorate that corner. I think I might snip it off again like we did yesterday. Like so. Right, let's stick these tiny strips on. We're not going to need much glue either. Just make sure I don't have any blobby bits. And just stick that along there, parallel to the bottom edge. And the other bits. Oop. There we go. So that's our two little decorative strips. And we'll pop a wee bit of glue on the back of here. Really gently with the glue on this, because this is going to spread everywhere. Quite a lot of people do like to stick this onto a sticker paper backing, which can be really useful and gets rid of the messy glue, and you don't get any spreadage anywhere. But you can do it using liquid glue if you're careful and only use a tiny bit. Just pop that across the corner there. Just gives a little luxurious touch, which I think is lush. So it's a really simple, easy card, but I do think that's quite special to give to somebody you love. Hope you like it too. Just a quick video there today then. Let's just bring back the other one I did as well. There we go. Lovely. So I hope you enjoyed those, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye. Merry Christmas.